One of Steam's biggest cozy game launches just turned into a complete PR disaster. Players are accusing the developers of Outbound of trying to manipulate Steam reviews. News sites picked up the story, Reddit exploded, and now people are debating whether the game's launch controversy is worse than the actual game itself. So, what actually happened with Outbound? And why is everyone suddenly talking about review manipulation? Before the controversy, Outbound actually had a huge amount of hype behind it. The game is a cozy open world van life survival game where players build and customize their camper van while exploring a colorful world. It combines crafting, exploration, survival systems, and cozy aesthetics, which made it incredibly popular during Steam Next Fest and helped it gain over 1 million wishlists before launch, including my wishlist. And because of that, expectations were extremely high. And I do want to say before we get deep into this, I've actually been enjoying Outbound so far myself. I really like the atmosphere, I like the cozy vibe, and the whole camper customization systems. So this video isn't me trying to tell people to hate the game or attack the developers at all. I just think the situation itself is important to talk about because it turned into a much bigger conversation about Steam reviews, developer responses, and how launches are handled online now. At the end of the day, I think people should look at the information themselves, read the sources, watch gameplay, and decide how they personally feel about it. So before we get into it, my name is Jennifer, aka Jupiter Lee, and I do a lot of cozy gaming content here, so welcome if you're new. Okay, so after release, the game started getting mixed reviews on Steam. Some players loved the visuals and customization systems, while others criticized the gameplay for feeling repetitive or lacking depth. There were also complaints about technical problems, multiplayer stability, pacing, and concerns about the amount of content available at launch. And honestly, none of that is unusual for an indie early access release. But what made the situation explode wasn't just the reviews themselves. It was how the developers responded to them. Players began sharing screenshots of developer replies posted on negative Steam reviews, and in some responses, players were told they could request refunds, and the developers also said they'd appreciate it if those players updated or removed their negative review afterward. And once those screenshots started spreading across Reddit and gaming news sites, the backlash really exploded. A lot of players felt this crossed the line from customer support into review manipulation, which, I can't blame them because that's certainly what it sounds like and looks like. The argument was basically Steam reviews are supposed to help future buyers make informed decisions, so asking players to remove criticism, even politely, damages trust in the review system for sure. This became a much bigger story because Steam reviews have a massive impact on a game's success, of course. A stronger review score can affect visibility, recommendations from Steam's algorithm, sales, and definitely overall public perception. So when developers appear to be influencing negative reviews, even unintentionally, people take it seriously. And ironically, the controversy itself ended up creating even more negative attention. Some players started leaving negative reviews specifically because of the developer responses and the way the situation was handled. But after the backlash got bigger, the developers posted a public apology on Steam. They admitted the situation was handled badly, said the launch was overwhelming, and promised that they would stop asking players to remove or change reviews. So I just wanted to read their response to you guys, and you can find this in the article that I link below. But it reads, "Hi everyone, we wanted to step into this thread to address the recent discussions and feedback on the reviews. They begin, first and foremost, we truly apologize for how recent replies have come across. We understand that our communication has felt wrong to many of you, and for that we are genuinely sorry. Why did it happen? To be completely honest, the 24 hours since the launch have been incredibly overwhelming. While we started with a lot of excitement, the reality of the launch brings a lot of pressure and intense emotions. Looking back, we realized that the way we communicated was not the right approach, and we didn't handle the situation with the care it deserved. We've been working around the clock to investigate the issues you've been reporting and to get fixes out as quickly as possible. We also want to be clear we will no longer be asking anyone to change their negative reviews, and we have also deleted our previous comments. We respect your honesty and appreciate the feedback, even when it's tough to hear. It helps us make the game better. We also deleted the earlier responses and said they were focusing on bug fixes and multiplayer stability updates moving forward. And this is where the community became really divided. Some of the players accepted the apology and saw the whole thing as stressed indie developers making poor decisions under pressure, and then others felt the trust was already damaged. So right now, people are pretty split on the situation. I've seen some players argue that the developers were just trying to help unhappy customers get refunds. They apologized quickly, and indie launches are chaotic. I mean, I don't know, but there were critics that were actually saying reviews exist for a reason and negative feedback shouldn't be discouraged, and developers should focus on fixing issues instead of worrying about review scores. But honestly, both sides are heavily debating this across Steam, Reddit, YouTube, and social media right now. I mean, this also ties into a much larger decision happening in gaming right now: review bombing, Steam algorithms, and how much power online reviews have over a game's future. Because once controversy starts affecting reviews, it becomes difficult to separate criticism of the game itself from criticism of the developer's behavior. And that's kind of where Outbound is sitting right now. So honestly, the big question is, will people move on once the game gets updated? Or will this controversy permanently define Outbound's launch? Personally, I'm still enjoying the game itself, and I'm interested to see how the developers handle things moving forward. But I also think it's important for people to read the articles, look at the discussions themselves, and decide how they personally feel about the situation. If you want to read more firsthand, I'll have all the sources linked down below in the description. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about the whole situation down in the comments. I mean, do you think this was just overwhelmed indie developers handling like launch stress so badly? Or do you think asking players to remove negative reviews crossed the line? Personally, I think asking players to remove negative reviews is kind of ridiculous. But I'm genuinely curious where people stand on this, and if you enjoy cozy game news, gaming drama reviews, and chill commentary videos like this, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.